Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Colville, Washington. So we did get the skin tool working for ATS as well as ETS. It is now Mod Studio 2. It's no longer ETS Studio. We got the UV layers, metallics, everything sorted out so we can have our skins look good in sun, in rain, clouds, everything. Those were the problems that I was having when I was using the old tool, which apparently is or was pretty buggy. And this new Mod Studio 2 is just tremendous improvement over the previous one. So we did get this working, and what we did was we carried over our skin that we created in ETS. And what I typically do, I just make up a company. I try to base it on the country where our home garage is. So I just carried that company over to ATS. And I brought the colors over as well. We've got that sort of mint green, seafoam green. And all these colors, you can see the third green in the pinstriping, but those are all from the Mercedes Formula One team colors. So we need to go pick up some butter. I'm gonna hop right in here. We need to go pick up some butter, and we're gonna take it down into Oregon and get that going. Brake is off. And we'll just see how she goes. Put some windows down here. And we're running a Caterpillar 3408 Super Duty, I wanna say. And that is by Rabbinicus as well, as all our engine packs are. Right, so how's everybody doing? So Wednesday for me, Thursday for you, feels like a Friday for me. I don't know if that makes it feel like a Saturday for you, but it definitely, this week has been, it hasn't been a bad week. It hasn't been a hard week. It's just been a weird week. I don't know. Something's going on. Well, obviously something's going on, but I mean something else is going on. Something entirely different. And I don't know what it is. If I find out, I'll let you know. So that is that's what's going on with me with gaming. Let me see. We got a new DLC for Train Sim World 2020 yesterday. It's alright. It's a single loco for a German route. It's alright. It really is alright. I thought it was a bit overpriced, but it's a cool loco. Comes with some cool scenarios and cool timetable stuff. But it also opens up part of a route that was previously closed. And I mentioned this in the video for that DLC, so if you watch that, you're hearing it a second time, but it only works in one route, and prior to the release of that Loco DLC, there was part of that route that you couldn't use. It was sort of blocked off. Nobody could use it. So now, if you have that DLC Loco, you can use it, and I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. Some kind of a way. I don't know if it was only there visually, and there was no track. I don't know if this was the plan all along. I don't know. I know that DLC was made by a third-party company, and people seem to be, I wouldn't say upset about that. That's maybe too strong a word for it. But people are asking, people in the community, fans are asking, hey, why are we paying you to pay a third-party developer to build this DLC content for us? And what's it all about? And it got me thinking, I don't know how much of the work that goes on inside a development studio is subcontracted out anyway, right? So it could be that various studios, various subcontractors make content for developers and we just don't know about it. And other times, perhaps they strike a deal as far as billing or how it's all going to shake out in the end. We'll put the third-party name on this. We'll put the subcontractor's name on this. Maybe we, I don't know, split the sales or something. And other times I think it's completely opaque to us as consumers. You know, the developer just does what they do behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sure they have contract employees, people that are not full hires, permanent hires. If you can have contract employees, why couldn't you have a subcontractor to sort of do the same thing? So, I don't know. I mean, it's good-looking DLC. It's just some of the ancillary stuff that goes with it. But I say this all the time. I think we as gamers have become, and I'm not putting it back on us like we're doing anything wrong. I think it's just natural that we've become sort of numb to how good things are. You know, we've got a ton of sims to play with. We've got great machines to play them on. It's really a fantastic time to be in gaming. And I think we forget sometimes how much work and how much effort goes into all this. It's difficult. I'm not blaming us as consumers. because we certainly put enough money into it, and that money comes from our time. That money comes from our work. So it all evens out. Slow down a little bit here. There we go. Set the cruise control. But yeah, I think it is easy to become numb. I think it is easy to become a little bit spoiled and forget, you know. At the same time, I never want to get to a place where I'm making excuses for developers and not holding them to a high standard and expecting something in return for my money. So yeah, it all sorts out. And what else is going on? A couple days from now, we've got MotoGP 20, which for some reason, anytime I mention it, I feel like it's about a 50-50 chance that I will call MotoGP 20 MotoGP 19. I think I'm just used to saying it. But that will be out, what's today? Wednesday, the 22nd. That'll be out Friday. Where's our turn here? There it is. That'll be out Friday. Looking forward to that. No real big changes that I could see. Hang on, let me get through here. Oh, look at this. We're headed out to a little farm. I guess that makes sense. It's a good place to pick up butter. No real big changes that I saw, but I'm curious if there have been some that maybe they just didn't mention. Things like graphics or physics or AI. Typically, a developer will mention those things if it's a big deal. Milestone, for some reason, talks a lot about their, their deep machine AI, neural network, Skynet something. I don't know. It's all right. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know that it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like deep machine learning. That seems a bit overstated, but it is all right. It's not the worst AI I've ever raced against. Motorcycles are tricky. They really are, because so much of it, a car doesn't really change its attitude very often in a race. It can move parallel to its direction of travel. It can get a little sideways and be pointing one way while it's moving another way, but its attitude remains essentially the same. In other words, it's stable. It's on all four wheels. That is its attitude, if we're using aircraft terms. Motorcycles flip-flop all over the place, even when they're not crashing. They're leaning, and the back end's trying to step out, and a lot of other things. That's got to be hard to do for a developer. It's got to be hard to make those physics work. Milestone does a pretty good job, and Milestone, I think, is the go-to developer for motorcycle simulation. They've got MotoGP, they've got Monster Energy Supercross, they've got MXGP, and they've got the Ride franchise. And I think Ride 4 is going to be out. I don't know if that's this summer. I don't know when it will be out, but I'm looking forward to Ride 4. I liked Ride 3, but again, it was very similar to Ride 2, I thought. Although they did switch over to Unreal, as they did as they do in the MotoGP franchise. Right, so we'll go here, and we're taking butter down to Burns, Oregon, 400 miles. We may make it in one trip. We're already 10 minutes in, so I might just go 30 minutes and call it right there. So brake is off. Let me go here. I think if we go back here and then flip around to the left, I think that might be the quickest way to get in here. Yeah, I want to say Ride 2 was on a different engine, but by that time, the MotoGP franchise was already on Unreal, and then Ride 3, they transitioned that over to Unreal as well. But yeah, I like Ride 3. It's, I don't know, all those games, you think you want a sim, you want a game where you just kind of ride a motorcycle on public roads and public highways. I wouldn't say identical to Euro Truck, but there's something fun about a game like Euro Truck or Forza Horizon, where it's not strictly racing. You know, you don't feel that same kind of not pressure, but intensity maybe. You know, you just kind of want to cruise. You think that, but Ride 3, just free riding. It's almost too open-ended. Might be because, whoa, Might be because the camera is a little too sensitive right now. That's why we're jumping around like that. And I'm not, there's no setting for camera speed, but it does seem to be a lot more sensitive than it has been in the past. This is 2 episodes in a row. We've got the truck in straight on our first try. That's unusual. All right. Engine is off. Let's load up. And it's going to be 8 a.m., right?
Let's go.
Not a cloud in the sky. No possibility of it getting dark. So yeah, let's just roll till 30 minutes and we'll go from there. Put it over there. I do pick up some distortion from these engine packs as well, and I don't know if that's a setting on my end or something that will be because those engine packs came out while 1.37 was still in beta. I don't know if it's something the modder is going to smooth out a little bit, or if it's a setting on my end, or if it's just what we're going to get when we use aftermarket engines and aftermarket sound with Fmod. That bad just disappeared into another dimension. Poor soul. Not complaining. I'm totally pleased with Fmod, and I really do like these engine packs. I really do. And I think I saw yesterday, maybe the day before, all of them, because there are so many of them. I think he's got like a dozen or so. There's so many of them, he combined them all into one mod. So you can download one mod for ATS, and it's got, I believe, all the engines that he's made so far for 1.37 in there. But I already have all the other ones, so I'll just leave them in there. Unless, now I'm wondering. I wonder if fixes for things like distortion, etc., I wonder if that is all included in that pack because it's the most recent. All right, well, it's worth looking into. We'll check it out. And what else is going on? I'm starting to think about another system. I know I just got this one a couple months ago, but I'm starting to think about another system. And what's got me thinking about it is triple monitors. And this new tower that I just got right around the holidays, it's got a good card in it, but it's not a card that supports triple monitors at 4K. In fairness, not a ton of cards do. That's a pretty big ask. But even 1080, even triple monitors at 1080 would be taxing for this card. I love the way this card makes my games look. It plays everything fast. It plays everything on ultra settings, but that's on a single monitor, not 4K. I don't have a 4K monitor, so I'm sort of, you know what I mean? I'm spared from that challenge. But it is something I'd like to think about in the future. And I also want to keep, let's get a good gear here. There we are. God, yeah, I don't know why the camera is moving so fast. I haven't changed any settings, and as far as I know, there is no setting for camera speed, camera sensitivity. I took a look for one when I noticed how fast it was moving. I didn't see one. I'll take a look again, see if I can slow that down. All right, so we're going to bypass the way station. We're good to go there. So ultimately, I would like to get into a system where I'm just kicking everything down one step, right? So the oldest and least powerful system I have at any given moment is the one that I use for rendering. The one up from there is what I use for desktop games, shooters, gamepad games, motorcycle, that sort of thing. And then the top tier one is what I use for racing and truck sim and flight sim. So we'll think about that, another system. And I've also been chatting with some people in Discord about various, I don't know, YouTube stuff, and thinking about kind of stepping my game up there as well. Hang on, let's put some windows up. There we are. Yeah, I don't know if you caught that distortion just as the windows went up, but there was kind of a burst of it. Interesting. All right. He say exit right? Yeah. There we go. So I had thought about getting an Elgato a while back, and for some reason I thought Elgato was that it had like 60 gig of solid state memory on board, and so when you recorded with Elgato, you were recording to Elgato. You were capturing to Elgato, and what I found out, fortunately before I bought one, what I found out was you actually need to send that signal via fast USB to another system. So it's it's essentially an HDMI to output box, I guess, converter. You run HDMI in one side, and then out the other side back to your monitor. So it interrupts that signal. It catches that signal on the way from your GPU to a monitor, and it converts it and sends it via USB to a hard drive. Well, there's another system made by Atomos. There's several actually, but the Shogun is the one I'm looking at. And that does have onboard capture. That does record. So essentially I could grab my output signal from this box, from any box, and record it directly to one of those Inferno boxes. Hang on, I gotta make a turn here. Concentrating. And I think I want to be over here. Yep. And then we do want to make the left. Okay.
Get ready to turn left.
Got it. And that would be, we'd be at 4K at that point. We would be, I don't know, I don't think you can really record triple monitors and post them to YouTube. I think people only get your center monitor. I mean, you could convert it, but then you would have your video would be really letterboxed badly. You'd have a ton of, you know what I mean? You'd have bars top and bottom if you wanted that width of display. We're gonna get a ticket here. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. So that's not necessarily something I want, but I do want to. I want to be able to have access to triple monitor display in my office, whether it makes it to YouTube or not. So that's it's just got me thinking about stuff. I mean, I like the sort of procedure that I have now as far as how I'm capturing audio and everything else, but I'm always looking to improve things. Plus, I just like toys and gadgets. Who doesn't, right?
Go straight on.
Won't be out on time. 17 minutes. All right. I don't know how far we'll get. We haven't even left town yet, so I think we've got a ways to go. All right, so we're making this right, and this will put us on the highway.
Keep right, then exit right.
Carefully.
Exit right.
Here we go. Let me get us out through the merge here. And I'll talk at you. Concentrating. I know it doesn't seem like much, but this game does take a bit of concentration. All right, we good over here? I know I got my own lane, but I'm gonna merge anyway because there is very often that far right lane will turn into an exit-only lane just as you crest the hill. Nope, we're okay. Right, yeah, always looking to improve things. Always am, so we'll see how all that goes. And what else? As far as new games, new Sims, yeah, a few new things this summer, but it's going to be franchise stuff, and we got the new Isle of Man TT Sim. It's good, it's fun, it's more game than a sim. Project Cars 3 is due at some point, no real date on that yet, and nobody really knows what to expect from that. Project Cars 2 it was always the game that was sort of, it never really found an audience because it was too difficult and too, I don't know, fussy, I guess. For the Forza crowd, it wasn't just good fun, and it was not an accurate enough sim for the Assetto Corsa and Race Room crowd. It ended up being a game that was, rather than being all things to all people, it was like no things to any people. It's a fun game. I do like it, but I get what people are saying about the flaws in it as a proper sim. The AI has always been, not so good. I do like the selection of cars, though, and if Project Cars 3 has a similar selection of cars and tracks, and they're able to get the simulation aspects of it sorted out, I think that'll be a fantastic game. In the same way that Assetto Corsa Competizione, I think, is the best GT3 simulator I've ever played, because it does bring together so many different aspects from various games and sims. It sort of brings them all together under one umbrella, and it does all of those things well enough that it can still be a sim. I feel like if any of those things dropped off below a certain threshold, then yeah, it just turns into a game again. But as it stands right now, Assetto Corsa Competizione is a fantastic sim. Project Cars 3, I would hope, I would want it to be the same sort of thing. I prefer sims to games. Games are fun, you know, driving games, racing games are fun now and then, but ultimately I prefer simulation more than anything else, and I would love to see Project Cars 3 be that. There's supposed to be GT4 for Assetto Corsa Competizione this summer. Looking forward to that. I'm not really into GT4, not really watching it, not really driving it, but it's another category, it's another class, right? Another skill set to learn. So that'll be cool. Looking forward to that. And F1 2020.
Keep right.
I'm noticing, I don't know if you're hearing that, but I'm noticing a couple little glitches with the sound right now. And again, I think it could be because the game just patched up from beta to full release. It may take the modders a couple days to finish off and make any final changes that they need to make. There shouldn't be too many. I don't know that Fmod is the kind of implementation that's going to have a lot of, you know what I mean? I suspect that Fmod was pretty much done on day one because it was coming from a third party. I know there's always bugs and little things that need fixed, but I don't know. I just feel like Fmod, the company, is going to do enough research on the integration before it goes into beta that hopefully there wouldn't be a ton of on-the-fly repairs. But nonetheless, I am hearing some little glitches with sound. And the only place, I would hope the only place that could be coming from would be a mod. Hope it's not coming from base game. But either way, we'll get it sorted out. All right. And we got on time, 22 minutes. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go to the next rest stop. It's funny driving these trucks with you. Slow down a little bit here. It's funny driving these trucks because I don't know. I feel like this is my opportunity to just kind of talk about what's going on during the week. Set some cruise control here because we keep speeding. There we are. Yeah, when we're farming, we're talking about the farm. When we're doing a video for the trains, right? We're talking about the DLC. When we're racing, I'm not talking about anything. But I feel like the truck is just an opportunity to kind of catch up with you a little bit about what's going on, at least what's going on in my world. So when I run out of things to talk about, I guess that's the end of the trip. I'll finish this off camera. We've still got a ways to go. I've still got a ways to go. So I'll take this down into Oregon, and hopefully this means that Idaho is right around the corner. I'll check. In fact, as soon as I'm done recording, I will check the. Let's see if they send us in here to get weighed. Yes, no? Perfect. I'll check the store as soon as I'm done recording and see if we've got a date yet for Idaho. But we'll head down that way regardless. I've been trying to stay around that area so when the DLC does drop, we can just cross over the state line and be done with it.
I'll find it.
All right, turn signal off. Let's get weighed, and then I will. I'll pull up to the side there, and we'll call it. There we are. 78,000 pounds. Perfect. And I think, yeah, right there on the right. I think that's going to be our spot. When I go third person, I will be as careful as I can be with the camera. I've never noticed that before, and that makes me think it's something's a little bit different with this last version of 1.37 that they released. Not a problem or anything, just something I need to either make an adjustment or get used to it. Right, we're in neutral, set the brake, hop out here, let this fella go past. And there we are. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.